Hey, what's going on, guys? It is Deibs, Mr. Crockpot on X. Today we are breaking down my top 10 quarterbacks in the 2025 NFL Draft. Guys, if you love the draft and you want more draft content, you know what to do. Smash that subscribe button. Let's go. Let's start with number 10 on my rankings, Jaxson Dart out of Ole Miss. Ole Miss quarterback Jaxson Dart has been a productive quarterback for several seasons after transferring from USC as a sophomore. Thanks to an effective marriage with offensive savant Lane Kiffin, Dart has made the most of his opportunity to play in the SEC by launching explosive pass plays to a slew of amazing pass catchers over the last several years. As a prospect, Jaxson Dart has a slew of promising physical skills that should be given the opportunity to develop at the next level. When he's in rhythm and on time, he spins a beautiful football and can lace throws in the middle of the field or vertically on big shot plays. Enough athleticism complements these skills to get outside of that pocket and extend plays with his legs or change the launch point as a means of allowing deeper progressions to develop. With that in mind, his evaluation is a little tricky, and he's a guy that I could see having a high variability when it comes to his draft stock. I see Jaxson Dart as a long-term developmental quarterback in a balanced offense that embraces play-action passing at an above-average clip. Dart's intrigue as a prospect is because of that combo of natural physical tools, athleticism, and arm talent, but he still has to show me that he can throw into tight windows and improve his deep ball accuracy. Right now, I have a day 3 grade on Jaxson Dart. Let's watch some highlights. Coming in number 9, let's talk about Miller Moss out of USC. Miller Moss has looked right at home in Lincoln Riley's system since taking over for Caleb Williams. His rhythm and timing as a passer are both excellent, and he has a great grasp of his role within the scheme. The ability to push the ball downfield is something that immediately pops when watching Miller Moss. He's capable of delivering a consistently accurate ball when going deep thanks to clean throwing mechanics and good footwork. Moss's placement and accuracy on short and medium range throws is very good, and he's shown he can attack the middle of the field and throw down the seam into traffic with accuracy. He has also shown impressive poise against pressure. Moss shows an NFL arm in terms of timing, anticipating, accuracy, and velocity. There's a lot to like about Miller Moss. However, he has a ways to go before being considered one of the top quarterback prospects. The good news for Moss is that he still has plenty of time to strengthen his case as a potential first-round quarterback. Based on the early impressions, he has found his way into the conversation among the next tier of draft-eligible QBs like the Jalen Milroes, like the Jaxson Darts. Let's watch some highlights. Coming in number 8 in my rankings, let's talk about Jalen Milroe out of Alabama. Simply put, Jalen Milroe is the most physically gifted quarterback eligible in the 2025 draft class. He has $1 million arm, and his legs might be worth 10 times as much, especially as the NFL increasingly shifts to more dual-threat quarterbacks. Comparisons to former and current NFL stars like Michael Vick and Jalen Hurts are all there. He has made strides over the last year and a half within Alabama's offense, but not massive ones. He still stares down his target and only throws the ball after his intended targets are open. He is currently more of a thrower than a refined passer, passer, heaving deep balls and forcing his receivers to adjust to them rather than leading them to daylight. When operating in rhythm, Jalen Milroe is quite effective. However, there are plenty of valleys between his peaks. Overall, Jalen Milroe is undeniably gifted, but while scouts might be drooling over his traits, the struggles of Anthony Richardson in Indy are a jarring reminder that experience, awareness, and accuracy are often more important than raw talent at the QB position. Right now, I've got a late day 2 grade on Jalen Milroe. Let's watch some highlights. Coming in number 7, let's talk about Riley Leonard out of Notre Dame. It's been a roller coaster 2 seasons for Riley Leonard. At around 6'4", 217 pounds, Leonard has prototypical size with good arm strength, near elite arm talent, and extremely impressive functional athleticism and running ability for his size. With his athleticism, he's a dynamic rushing threat, and his passing upside is very alluring. Let's talk about mobility. Riley Leonard adds an extra dimension to his offense with his mobility in and around the pocket, where he shows good pocket presence and an ability to extend plays and pick up meaningful yards. He often has no problem going into contact to pick up first downs or extra yards, but that has also led to him being more injury prone. This is truly a double-edged sword area for Riley Leonard. Riley Leonard has also flashed the ability to layer passes into incredibly tight and precise windows. However, at this stage, a lack of down-to-down consistency with pocket management, poise under pressure, mechanics, and timing has prevented Leonard from reaching his full potential. Right now, I've got Riley Leonard pegged as a day 2 selection. Let's watch some highlights. Coming in number 6, let's talk about Carson Beck out of Georgia. Say what you want about the decision-making and sporadic accuracy that has resulted in 8 combined interceptions in high-profile contests against Alabama, Mississippi State, and Texas. Carson Beck is arguably the most talented passer in this class. Whether it be the classic deep out from the opposite hash, vertical shots 50 yards downfield, or back shoulder fades from the sideline, Carson Beck has the guts to attempt and the talent to make the extremely difficult throws required at the next level. He is blessed with a howitzer for a right arm and does not need to step into the pocket to make amazing throws. In nearly pulling off a colossal comeback against Alabama, Carson Beck also showed resiliency. Even when he's down, he's not out. Along with Shedeur Sanders, Carson Beck was ranked by NFL scouts as a likely early round draft pick entering this season, but the latter's stock has undeniably fallen, with more interceptions thrown halfway through this season at any other year of his career. He possesses the fastball every team is looking for, but his accuracy and confidence have disappeared, perhaps with last year's favorite targets Brock Bowers and Ladd McConkey heading to the NFL. At this point in time, Carson Beck seems more destined for a day 2 selection. Let's watch some highlights. At number 5, let's head to LSU and talk about Garrett Nussmeier. It might surprise some to see Garrett Nussmeier ranked this high, especially given that he entered the season with just one start at the college level. Nussmeier had the unfortunate reality of sitting behind last year's Heisman Trophy winner Jayden Daniels, but when he got his opportunity in the ReliaQuest Bowl last year, he earned MVP in a win over Wisconsin. This is the son of former NFL quarterback Doug Nussmeier, who now serves as the quarterback coach for the Los Angeles Chargers. Sure, 9 of his starts to this point is an awfully limited sample size, and speaking of size, Nussmeier lacks an ideal frame as well. However, the tape is full of NFL caliber reads, nuanced pocket movement, and most importantly, very good ball placement. He is one of the better deep ball throwers in this class and fits throws at every level through remarkably tight windows. Experience might be the single most important trait when projecting QBs to the NFL. If you're looking for a quarterback to get hot when the weather turns cold, Nussmeier might be your guy. Right now, I've got an early day 2 grade on Garrett Nussmeier. Let's watch some highlights. Coming in number 4, let's head to the Big Ten and talk about Indiana's Kurtis Rourke. The Indiana Hoosiers keep on winning, and QB Kurtis Rourke keeps on boosting his NFL draft stock with every win. His accuracy, feathery touch, quick release zip, excellent pocket awareness, and opportunistic running have all been on full display this season. Kurtis Rourke has prototypical NFL size at 6'5" and 223 pounds. His head coach, Curt Cignetti, compared him to Phillip Rivers in terms of his unflappable presence and competitiveness. Size, mobility, pinpoint accuracy, and toughness are all of Rourke's standout traits. If he continues to ball out like we saw against Michigan and an upcoming contest against Ohio State later this month, expect to see Rourke pegged as a first rounder, even though he just turned 24 years old and could very well be the first pick in the CFL draft. His multitude of strong game film, experience, and physical talent make Kurtis Rourke an extremely strong prospect at this point in time. I would not be shocked at all to see Rourke taken in the first round. It's the improved decision making and easy chemistry he's shown with brand new supporting cast at his new school that have really helped, aside from the winning and the athletic potential. Let's watch some highlights. Coming in number 3, let's talk about Drew Allar out of Penn State. Drew Allar boasts the size and arm talent scouts covet. Even though his touchdown to interception ratio in 2024 is not as impressive as last year's, he's made significant strides with his accuracy, vaulting from a 59.7 completion rate earlier in his career. He can rifle throws down the middle like an NFL vet, and he can take something off the ball to feather it with touch as well. There are also encouraging signs of improved poise under pressure. A year ago, he looked like a deer caught in headlights against Ohio State, but he showed grit in guiding the Nittany Lions to comeback wins on the road against USC and Wisconsin. Further, despite his gangly frame, Drew Allar is a quality athlete who can buy time in the pocket or scramble when necessary. At just 20 years old, he should be just scratching the surface of his ability. Drew Allar is not as polished as many of the other quarterbacks on this list, but he's dripping with upside. A strong performance in the upcoming college football playoff could be a springboard to an early draft declaration. I could easily see a world where Drew Allar becomes a first-round pick next April. Let's watch some highlights. Coming in number 2, let's talk about Shedeur Sanders out of Colorado. Shedeur Sanders is a classic pocket passer who shows poise under pressure as well as anticipation and accuracy to throw his receivers open. Critics will point out that he's led the Buffaloes to just a 10-10 record over his 20 starts since following his father and head coach Deion Sanders from Jackson State, but his 16-2 touchdown to interception ratio in the fourth quarter over his nearly 2 seasons at Colorado are evidence of his clutch play. While gutty, Sanders does not, however, possess an elite arm. He relies more on timing and ball placement than velocity, and he's not a dynamic scrambling threat either. In fact, his average foot speed and spatial awareness play a significant role in the troubling 77 sacks he's absorbed at Colorado. Finally, but perhaps more importantly, some question whether or not he's been coddled as the coach's son and currently lacks the maturity and leadership teams expect of a franchise quarterback. Shedeur Sanders looks like he'd fit best in a classic West Coast offense featuring quick decisions and throws to the short and intermediate levels. Right now, I've got a top 10 grade on Shedeur Sanders. Let's watch some highlights. Coming in number 1 in my quarterback rankings, let's talk about Cam Ward out of Miami. The Washington State transfer has the Hurricanes storming through the ACC, providing Miami with arguably its greatest Heisman Trophy candidate of the century. Cam Ward has a snappy release that routinely catches defenders off guard, and he is dangerous in and out of the pocket, showing terrific downfield vision and patience to extend the play. He is at his best when lobbing intermediate and deep balls, offering very good touch to fit the ball between layers. There is a backyard element of his play that will make him a polarizing prospect in the NFL. Too often, he'll throw off his back foot, sapping the velocity and accuracy of his throws. Further, Cam Ward has a tendency to drop to a 3-quarter release, which makes him functionally shorter. In a draft class lacking consistent playmaking ability, Cam Ward's improv skills stand out. It's easy to root for a quarterback who has raised his level of play as he's faced tougher competition throughout his career. Right now, I've got a top 10 grade on Cam Ward. Let's watch some highlights. All right, guys, those are my top 10 quarterbacks in the 2025 NFL Draft. Do you agree or disagree with those rankings? Let me know down in that comment section below. Thank you everyone for watching. Stay awesome.